What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan, and a very happy Thursday to all of you. It is Thursday, February 2nd, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you're at in the world at the time you find this reaction. So in today's reaction, I'll be reacting to the 5th episode of Spy Classroom. The title of this episode is File Lamplight Days. So in the last episode, we got to get a little more insight into our 8th and most recent addition to the girls, Erna. She is a girl filled with misfortune and chaos. And as we went through the episode, we got to learn that Erna's misfortune is more self-inflicted upon herself. There was a major fire that happened when she was young that ended up killing her entire family. And she had belief that it was because of her bad luck with everything she did that brought about the fire. So anytime something in her life happens which may bring her potential misfortune, she makes sure to walk herself directly into that because it's survivor's guilt. She feels a really textbook case of survivor's guilt, and if it's her time to go, it's just basically her time to go, and she'll do whatever is needed to basically protect those that she cares for. And so in the case of the other girls, she chose intentionally not to get close to the other girls because she did not want misfortune coming to them, and them all being in a profession in which death could be on their front door at any given point in time. She didn't feel that she needed to be friends or close to them because it would possibly cause them harm in the end. But as we saw, Klaus accepted her misfortune, and not only did he accept it, but he said that it's not even misfortune at all, but that it is actually a great strength, and that all the things that happened to him would have happened to the other girls had he not been present. And so she doesn't need to feel guilty or feel bad on herself. Now, of course, there was a alternative thing to that because the girls actually tricked the kidnappers into a ruse that ultimately was the girls' way of trying to capture Klaus, because this happened 20 days before the Impossible mission happened. And so their entire goal, using the kidnappers as kind of they fed them bad information, and ultimately that led to that whole showdown that happened with Klaus and the kidnappers and Erna and everybody. But of course, it also ultimately resulted in failure too, because he was in chains the whole time. They thought they had captured him because he was in chains, but they keep forgetting this man can easily get out of locks and chains and pretty much anything. He's a master at his craft. He's a master person of spydom, and I'm just saying spydom now, and just everything that he does. And there was just nothing they could do. There was no hope. And as we know, in the entire 30 days that they had to prepare for the Impossible mission, at no point did they actually capture him. So yeah. But with that said, it was a good episode. I really do like Erna. I just, again, wish that in any way, shape, or form we could have had some type of presentation from her. Even if they wanted to hold back on major plot points before the mission actually went down. And I still do feel that them choosing to do this out of order like this, doing the Impossible mission and then doing these files for the girls, I think that kind of was counterproductive, and is a major reason why a lot of people have chosen not to watch the show anymore. So, but that's my initial thoughts here. And so this episode, it looks like it says Lamplight Day. So I know I said last week I thought they were just going to do one file each girl. Maybe that's not the case, and they're going to try to bring us back into the plot, and we're just going to skip building the other girls, or we're just going to try to build the other girls as the show goes along. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Before I start, I am putting this in all of my videos, and I have a very big announcement, if you have not already heard, in regards to these reactions to give to all of you. But I'm going to go ahead and put up on the screen my delays. There is going to be delays to my reactions and cancellations as a result of an upcoming trip to Japan next week. And I just wanted to share those with y'all for a few moments. So, as you can see up on the screen, Tomo-chan is a girl. I am skipping the episode 6 video, the actual episode, and I'll pick back up on episode 7 after I have returned Don Machi is delayed until after the 16th of February, and I'll be doing a double header in which I'll be doing both episodes, both the episode that I missed and the new episode, back to back in the same video. Miss Nagatoro's Second Attack. I'm skipping the 7th episode, and I'll pick back up on episode 8 after I return. Nier Automata version 1.1a is currently on an anime hiatus by the production studio due to COVID-19, so reactions have stopped indefinitely for that show, and I'll give more information on that when they do decide on resuming the show. Inspector Season 2, at the current moment, I am planning to skip episode 6 and pick back up on episode 7, but I may decide to do both episodes. It'll just depend on how timing is that day. And then last but not least, D4DJ All Mix is going to be delayed, but I'm also going to be recording part of that reaction directly from Japan. Now, I know I said last but not least, and I know you saw on the list, I skipped one intentionally, Spy Classroom. So, it is with a heavy heart that I regret to tell the very select few of you that have even watched these reactions since the show started that I will not be reacting to Spy Classroom after today's video. I am a small channel, but I'm still trying to grow the channel, and in order to grow the channel, reactions have to have some way, shape, or form of traction. All of my other reactions are getting at least 100 plus watches, which is on par with what I want at this point for my channel. This show is barely getting 10 watches a week. And then there's no traction whatsoever. And not only is there no traction on the videos here, there is really next to no dialogue in any of the groups that I am a part of. And when I do find groups that are talking about it, they absolutely hate the show, say it's a 2 and below, and they just want nothing to do with it. I acknowledge that the decision making behind what they did in episode 2 and episode 3 have put a lot of people off, and a lot of people at this stage no longer want to entertain the show. They've declared the show a failure. They don't care about what people think about it because it's just an awful show to them. And unfortunately, there's just been no traction on these reactions. I really, really, really wanted to continue doing these reactions, and in my own way, I'm continuing to enjoy the show, but it is very obvious at this stage that the that existed when the show first started no longer exists, and if there's no traction, there's just no purpose in reacting. So unfortunately, this is actually going to be my last reaction video to this show, and when I conclude this reaction video, the next time you'll see anything Spy Classroom related will be at the end of the season when I do my final thoughts video, which I will do whenever the season ends. So I'm really sorry about that, and again, for the few of you who do watch these reactions to this particular show, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it, and I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be reacting anymore. But enough about that. Sad noises there. We'll go ahead and kick into the next reaction. So just give me a few moments here. It'll be a split second for you while I get the video set up, and we'll go ahead and get this started. All right, guys, I am back. We're going to go ahead and get this reaction started. Again, this is episode 5 of Spy Classroom, and the title is File Lamplight Days. Let's go ahead and get this started in 3, 2, 1. Hey, at least I do like the aesthetic of the visuals for this opening. It just, I really do get where people's frustration comes to. It feels like we literally hit the cap, had the major showdown, and now we're just here for a bunch of OVAs. And I get it, but, it's just bad storyboarding more than anything. Maybe it was just really the order that they chose to do this that messed things up. Because I definitely see all the promise that exists in this show and existed prior to them making that decision. But alas, mistakes happen sometimes. Oh my goodness. It's just you're up against a master. That's so specific. Like, hey. Yo, that won't shit. I mean, literally, he's a whole master at his craft. What did you expect? Mm. Hey, these are the type of conversations you have while you're in a bath. Which, of course, we know that that didn't work out either. I ain't gonna lie. Greta just seems so elegant. I will say they really did want y'all dead. Want y'all dead. Like giving y'all 30 days for a mission that literally allegedly wiped out an entire group. Yeah, ridiculous. Do we now? Yep, it looks exactly like what I'd expect her room to look. Yeah, she is absolutely beautiful, might I note. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. What are you about to put this girl up to? Oh. Y'all know that's not gonna work, right? That man's probably been long shut those type of emotions down. Y'all literally gonna set this girl up to be to seduce somebody. Alright. That ain't working. He about to be outraged and pissed. What in the Get out of here! Yo! This attempt isn't even gonna remotely work. This is awful. Bruh, this is so obvious! This is so awful. Hi. Gonna set this girl to do something like that. You did look nice in that outfit, though. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. What did you think he was gonna do? Did you just learn that man? He's the best at what he does. She's not gonna succeed either. Right, and see, I get that they chose not to want to show us all this because they didn't want us to hear them talk about bug stuff, but there's a way they could have worked this story that would have worked with what they wanted, but still could have showed us some of their day-to-day life. Like, I think the only issue really would have been Erna. This poor girl. How? Ain't no way. She really has just manifested unluck because of everything that's happened to her. Damn. That's harsh words. Please. Please don't. Please don't stop. She just did something so... Ain't no damn way. I mean, that just required the IQ of literally like 10 in order not to step on it. Goodness, I just wish there's just been better writing. Because I want to love her so much. And I do love her. Let's be very clear. It's just that I can't genuinely say that I have the attachment that I want. Oh boy. He said, not today. I mean, I don't think he would eat a meal with the very people that he set up a mission to catch him. So he wouldn't trust y'all at all anyway. Oh, wow. Barrett, y'all aren't even trying. Like, it's so obvious. What a legend. Yeah, that angle with the camera. This man's not stupid. But he's already preparing in multiple different ways to deal with y'all thinking that he has y'all number. Like, there's no way you got anything good out of this. So all this is just leading to them making food? Okay. But did we ever get to why he wasn't eating with y'all? Or what the reason for that was? Or did I just miss something? boy. Please do not use something like that. Destroy the whole damn kitchen. Oh, wow. It's actually working. Okay. You know, I gotta stop watching these type of episodes where they're working on food when I haven't eaten food pretty much all day. Does not help. Packs full of love slash death. Oh. Like, y'all investigation netted nothing. There was nothing gained. I mean, he saw y'all the entire day. From beginning to end. You better eat. Exactly. No. Wow. He's only 20? All right, then. Guess that makes sense. I saw between like 21 and 23. But wow, what a young age to be a master at your craft. It's at least something like that. Mm. And so, of course, that thing right before they took on the mission where he set that up was a great moment for him. And you know, that was a good episode of seeing them mesh together, but I think I have my final thoughts that I want to say on pretty much where things went wrong with this show. And it is basically what we've been discussing. So, but I'm going to watch this really nice ending first. Mm-hmm. All right, so as this will be my last actual reaction until the finale when I give my final thoughts, there's two main issues with this show. And before I say that, I'll say that this episode was a nice episode. We got to see the girls interacting with each other after the entire episode that introduced us to Erna and her misfortune. And this episode revolved around several different ways of them trying to both capture him and also gain a better understanding of him. We've now learned that Klaus is 20 years old, so he's actually just maybe a tad bit older than the girls who've now joined here. But they're all relatively around the same age bracket, so that's going in their favor as far as trying to find a way to get him. That's also scary, because that means that this man's been a savage at a very young age very quickly. Makes sense being under someone as master level as who his sensei was. So, yeah, that makes complete sense. But we did get to see more interactions between the girls. Again, Greta is my favorite solely because of bias, but I can't truly say that she is my favorite because of any way that the anime has portrayed her. She was incredibly on her seductive stuff, and I got to tell you, seeing Lily in her outfit when she went into his that was absolutely ridiculous, but that was a nice scene too. And for the rest of the girls, it really was a good episode of getting to see them, just have bonding moments with each other and see the chemistry build. But now that that's out the way, unfortunately, this brings me to the two major issues. First, I disagree with them choosing to do it out of order like this. I will just go on record and say I flat out disagree that they made a decision to do the impossible mission in episode 3 and then decided they want to give us this flashback into all the girls and their personalities, which also means that I may have to just say I disagree with Erna even being a character, because obviously the only way that this direction they chose to go would work was to keep Erna completely running out of milk. Wow, my Amazon thinks I need milk while I'm talking about this reaction. See, crazy stuff. Anyway, getting back on track. The only way that Erna works in this story was sadly kind of the way that they did it, because if they did it the way that I said I wanted them to do it, where they gave us more backstory, at some point in time we would have had an issue with random plot holes here and there. We would have seen the other girls interacting, but we never would have been able to see Erna as a present character in the show. So instead of me trying to find a way in my head to work it out to where she factors in while still keeping the flow of the show in line, I'm just going to go on record and say she just shouldn't have been a character in the show with the way that they chose, with the way that they wanted to do this. With the way that it should have been done, so that we would have been captivated better. Because it made us have to do the big mission way too soon. Everything felt way too soon. I would be perfectly happy with this episode and say it's a solid 8 out of 10 episode from a lighthearted chemistry side of things, if we didn't already have the impossible mission and we've already capped on what we thought the show was going to be revolved around. Now it's just like we're getting these added on additions of their personality traits, but it doesn't even really account or match up to anything because for many people, the show's already over. We've already maxed it out. What's the point in talking about we are a mess and we're not going to be anything ready for the impossible mission when you've already done the damn impossible mission now? It just all comes to their decision. It's poor storyboarding. It's honestly really bad storyboarding. They shouldn't have done it that way. I feel there's several different ways that they could have done this where it could have meshed, but in most of those cases it factors out Erna as a character completely, but it would have worked better that way than bringing her in, making us have to now go in a reverse order, and then maybe we're going to see the impossible mission from a different point of view. Like maybe we'll actually just watch everything from beginning to end at the end of the season from, I don't know, Klaus's mentor's point of view or something. So it's really just hard to truly grasp what they thought they were going to accomplish by putting the impossible mission in episode 3 and now giving us these moments with these girls now. Now this brings me to a second other fundamental issue that I have. I don't feel like these girls are getting ready for an impossible mission at all. I feel like we're getting ready for maybe some major spy trials or something that could get them back to their institutions that they were a part of. But I don't feel like we're getting ready for a life and death situation. I mean, this was revolved around us cooking and trying to get a better grasp of him as a person. But this is a serious mission. This is a life and death mission. And I don't feel like we're getting ready for that at all. Maybe the plot would have worked better if this was, we're sending these girls to work with this master spy, and depending on how your performance is here, and you'll get a big mission to do there, you might be allowed back into the institutions that you were a part of or not. And then they choose at the end of the show, instead of going back to their institutions, that they actually want to formally form a group with him. There's so many different ways they could have did this that the story would have meshed better. But they didn't go that way. We have this big life and death impossible mission, which ended up being his mentor that was a traitor that turned on them going on. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. This show had all the makings of being able to be great. And even if it was going to have lighthearted moments, it could have lighthearted moments with very dire consequences at a later time, and it could have meshed with us better, and we could have felt more attached to Klaus, more attached to the girls, and more attached to the struggles that they're going through. But because this is the specific plot in the show that they gave us, it just doesn't work. So, with that in mind, despite the fact I liked the episode and I laughed at this episode solidified the deal that the show doesn't really know what it wants to do. It doesn't really know where it's trying to go. It doesn't know how it wants us to feel when it comes to any attachment to the girls, if it wants us to take the impossible mission as something serious or not, and Klaus and Inferno as a whole. It just doesn't really know what it wants us to do, because I don't think they know what they want it to do themselves. So, at this present moment, I am absolutely going to continue watching the show because I like the girls individually. But from a collective standpoint and from a story standpoint, the story is failing. And as such, right now, the show is teetering on an edge for me between a 6 and just me failing the show outright. Thank goodness I like the personalities of the girls just enough that I'm not willing to fail the show just yet. Because I do want to see where they're trying to go with this from this point. But I will tell you guys, if it stays on this track, if we don't actually make any of it make sense why they decided that they wanted to do the impossible mission so soon, then unfortunately, I will probably be coming back to y'all at the end of the season, letting you guys know that it didn't work, and I can't see myself justifying a passing grade for the show, and I'll fail it at that time. But for right now, I'm going to say it gets a very low 6, and you know, it's unfortunate. With better direction and better story writing and just better storyboarding altogether, I feel that this could have been a relatively decent show. This was never going to be a master level spy based show, but it could have been a decent show with better direction. So that is my thoughts here, guys. And again, I truly want to thank all of you, the very few of you who did watch these reactions, who did engage with dialogue with me, both here on YouTube and through the forum chats that I'm part of. And I hope that for whatever it's worth, you guys will continue continue to enjoy the remainder of this season, and I'll make sure to come back to y'all at the end of the season and let you know what my final thoughts are. So thank you truly for watching my reactions up to this point for this show. If you did like the reaction, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction to one of my other shows becomes available, hit the bell icon. So with that said, I part ways with you for my reactions for Spy Classroom. Please, if you are still watching the show, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show in whatever way of enjoyment we can. I'll see you guys at the end of the season to talk about my final thoughts. And until that time, catch you later.